Hi, my name is Keith Dominique, and I'd like to talk about the making of the video for my song See Life Straight. The reason why we chose this particular song was because it was easy to think of a concept that was not too elaborate. It didn't require a lot of props, extras, filming on location. Because the song was about going home and walking down a path, we decided that it would be easy just to film me walking down a path, which was actually the driveway. It worked out pretty well for this video anyway. And the concept behind the video is I keep seeing all these signs, and the signs are kind of distracting me from my original objective of getting home. And it's taking me on all these excursions and kind of leading me elsewhere. I mean, I guess it could be a commentary on modern culture in general and how we're always distracted by a million things at once, whether it's social media or the news or just the fast paced society that we're living in. We had no budget for the video. The most I spent was $18 for the cardboard to make the signs. Everything else was just whatever we had on hand. My nephew was kind enough to let me borrow his bike. I'd never ridden a bike in years. I don't remember the last time I actually rode a bike, so I was pretty wobbly. And they say once you learn how to ride a bike, you never forget. But in my case, I didn't quite forget, but I definitely was not as confident as I would have liked to have been. And at one point, I actually fell off the bike and I wasn't injured or anything, but there were a few close calls. And I kind of regret not wearing a helmet in the video. We had filmed the bike scenes, and I was like, I probably should have worn a helmet, but I didn't really want to have to go back and redo it. And so, for the sake of continuity, I just kept the helmet off. But, I definitely don't condone riding a bike without a helmet. I'm all about safety. But in this case, it just so happened that I forgot to put it on. In the future, if I do any bike scenes, I'll definitely remember to wear a helmet. We were originally going to hang the signs from trees, but I live in a pretty heavily wooded area, and I felt it was kind of risky to go that far out into the woods where there's poison ivy and all kinds of insects. So we decided in the end we were just going to keep it in the driveway. So thankfully, my nephew also let me borrow his ladder ball game. We just took the ball off and we just used that outside structure, and we just taped the sign to it, and we moved it to the different areas and the different locations, and we changed the sign for each scene, and it wound up being a lot easier than having to go out in the woods. And my nephew also helped me with running the camera, and he gave me ideas and feedback. And the closing shot of me walking through the gate was actually his idea. I found that it gave the scene a little bit more dramatic flair to have me walking through a gate as opposed to just an ordinary door. It added to the drama of the scene, I think.
That's good, like you're going home.
And cut.
My aunt was kind enough to let me borrow her puppy for the video. The puppy is a Bichon Frise. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but he's 6 months old. His name is Drake. My nephew named the dog. Originally, we were going to have me hold the puppy, but we kind of figured that that was not going to work because he's a young dog and he has a lot of energy and he's pretty hyperactive. So it was very unlikely that we were going to get him to stay still for 30 seconds in a shot. In the end, we decided that we were just going to have him pull me around the yard on a leash. I definitely think he took the video to a whole new level. And I think if you're making a video and you have access to a puppy, you have to put the puppy in the video. There's no way around it. It's almost a requirement. There were some scenes that didn't make the video. One of them was me swinging on the swing sets, but we really didn't have room for it because we only have so much time in the video. So that one got taken out in favor of the puppy, which I think in the end turned out to be the right decision. We were also going to do a scene with a puppet. My nephew made a puppet. It's a pretty impressive looking green, like it's a kind of like a monster. It's very hard to describe. It's like this creature with a funny hat, and I don't really know how else to describe it. And he never really told me exactly what it is. We were going to do a thing where the puppet is kind of like blocking the path so I couldn't get through, and kind of telling me like no trespassing. This property is only for puppets or whatever. So I was going to have to go around and take another detour. In the end, we decided not to film that part because I kind of feel like it would have been a bridge too far. I wanted the video to be kind of lighthearted and have a sense of humor, but I didn't want it to verge on silly or goofy or anything like that. I'm happy with the way it turned out.
When I think that home is clear ahead, the twists and turns never abate. No matter how much experience I get, I still don't see life straight. Still don't see life straight.